The Michigan Senate yesterday, speaking of casinos in Atlantic City and Firekeepers Casino and all the rest here in Michigan, they approved legislation that will help protect state taxpayer dollars by preventing cash assistance recipients from withdrawing funds from ATMs located in casinos. Senator Randy Richardville voted for that measure, and he is on the other end of our line bright and early this. Well, it's not bright yet, it's just early. Good morning to you.
Well, good morning, Michael Patrick. How are you?
Good. How did it work? Now, you get some sort of debit card that you can use to withdraw cash or pay for groceries or that sort of thing?
Yeah, these cards, they're bridge cards. They're intended to help families that are having trouble, through unemployment reasons or other hardships to pay for food for their family or rent or their heating bills, etc. And what we found out, we had some testimony in committee last week, but there was more than $87,000 in assistance funding that was withdrawn from one single casino in Detroit last year. So we think that there's a pretty good chance that money's not getting into the households and to help the kids and the families that it's intended to help.
So somebody gets their bridge card and says, you know what, I'm going to go make something out of this. I'm going to go to the casino and triple it or quadruple it, and that's not really, the odds are not with them necessarily in that situation. So how will you'll have some sort of block where if they use it in an ATM in a casino, the system will know and it will refuse the cash?
Yeah, I'm the chairman of the banking committee, and this measure originally came through that committee. And we've talked to the credit unions, we've talked to the banks and ATM holders, owners, and there are code numbers that each ATM has. And so what we've asked them to do is to absorb the cost of blocking those numbers. And they said the cost was relatively minimal, and they understood that society would be a lot better off if we didn't have that money disappearing and possibly going into slot machines. But $87,000 in one of the casinos. We have 24 casinos in Michigan, and those numbers aren't available for all of them. But you can just imagine how much taxpayer dollars is supposed to be going to help, needy, underprivileged, at-risk families is going into a slot machine or onto a crap table or something like that.
State Senator Randy Richardville is a Republican from Monroe. We're with Steve Yencich here in our Gillespie Group storefront studio. Today is the Michigan Lodging and Tourism Legislative Conference, and just wondered, I'm sure Steve would like to ask, or I can, where you stand on the idea of permanent funding for the Pure Michigan campaign. We understand now the autumn commercial load is dark now for Pure Michigan, and maybe the winter will be dark too because there's no more funding?
Unfortunately, that is true. As a matter of fact, Senator Richardville is going to be our keynote speaker for lunch today, and I'm sure a lot of our people will want to know. He's been a longtime supporter of tourism in a number of key areas, so won't put him on the spot at this point in time, but I'm sure a lot of our people have questions as to where he stands.
What will you say at the lunch, Senator?
Well, we'll be talking a little bit about the economy, and of course it's a little bit of a catch-22. If you look at the economy, which is driven largely by tourism, and you're taking money away that promotes tourism goes down, tax revenue's down, it just becomes a circle. So I've talked to members of my caucus and other caucuses, and there's a huge amount of support for the Pure Michigan program, and so we're just going to have to find a way to fund it appropriately. Some of those funds, at different times of the year, or different programs, different targeted segments of the advertising can go up and down in terms of need. So permanent funding, does that make sense? Well, I think we have to be smart with taxpayers' dollars and look every year, and that's why we have a budgeting process. It's my sincere hope that we move to a 2-year budgeting process to help us manage these funds better. But at this point in time, that's not on the legislative agenda, but I think after the first of the year it will be.
So every year then, we'll have to go through, it'll be another budget item that is negotiated in the House and Senate in terms of funding. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there may be a base amount, but it may need to go up or go down based on competitive measures or what's happening in the state. As Steve said, Michigan, well, I don't know if he said it, but he's well aware that Michigan's tourism industry is critical. And, it's a little-known fact that the biggest destination for tourism in terms of number of people visited is Monroe County, the county that I live in. We have Cabela's down there, and we have over 1 million visitors a year just visiting to to shop and for hunting and fishing kinds of things. Well, where do they go? Well, they go up into northern Michigan, and they spend that money there. Golf courses, the golf industry. We love Midwestern United States dollars coming into the United States and coming into our economy, into Michigan, and helping us to build up our economy. So, again, I think it's a good investment with a good return on investment, and that's what we're looking for taxpayer dollars. Well,
I grew up playing golf at the Raisin River Golf Club there. They have 36 holes along I-75. So I've been to Monroe plenty of times there. And what would you say would be the minimum amount if we're going to negotiate every year in terms of funding for Pure Michigan? What would be, can you make a minimum amount for promotion?
Probably could, but I come from a business background. I worked at Lazy Boy down in Monroe, and also Herman Miller and Cargill, several Fortune 500 type companies. And I believe in a zero-based budget, a model. I don't want to go to extremes, but basically, sometimes government says, well, hey, we've got a program. If we don't spend this money, we're going to lose it next year because it's an automatic thing. Instead, I do believe that when we're spending taxpayer dollars, we should have to justify them on an annual basis. Working with Steve and working with others in the tourism industry, maybe we can come up with what a minimum amount would be. But again, government isn't in the mode of trying to cut programs that are beneficial. It's just the economy's got us in a bind where we don't have extra money, and we've got to make better use of the money that we do have.
Michael Patrick and Senator, if I might just respond, the whole idea of permanent funding is perhaps a bit of a misnomer. I think maybe the more appropriate term is consistent funding. You look at the Department of Agriculture, DLEG budget, all these different budgets are consistent year to year, but they are always going to be debated, and the levels are always going to be adjusted. So when we talk about permanent, we're not talking about a set in cement line item that's always going to stay fixed, but we need an earmark in there that's always going to be at a certain level. And as Senator indicates, what that minimum level is a subject for discussion and debate.
Senator Richardville, thanks for the time this morning. That measure about the ATMs and casinos for bridge cards, that goes to the House now?
Yeah, we've just got a couple of T's to cross and I's to dot. Senator Bill Hardiman is the sponsor from Grand Rapids, and I'd like to thank him for bringing that to our attention. He's done some work on it. But it should be going to the governor, I'd say, within a week.
Okay. Thank you very much. We'll see you later today at the luncheon, Michigan Lodging and Tourism Legislative Conference. Thank you very much.
I look forward to it. Thank you, Michael, and goodbye, Steve.
Thank you.
See you later.
There is Senator Randy Richardville, the Republican from Monroe. I got 20 seconds before the break. Maybe you can tell us afterwards. You met with Senator Allen yesterday in a conference. I want to hear if you will tell us what happened in that conference and what it means to the future of Michigan tourism.
Be happy to, Michael Patrick. It's a conference, a committee hearing. We had a number of representatives, and we'd be happy to talk about that.
If you're a legislator driving to Lansing this morning, where should they meet for the conference? What time?
Actually, we will come to them. We're going to come outside of Senate chambers, outside of House chambers, and just pull people off the floor. So we deliver. We'll deliver the crowd.
Be on the lookout. Tourism delivered to you. The mountain going to Mohammed. 35 after the hour. He's Steve Yencich. I'm Michael Patrick Shields. Back in a flash.